Welcome everyone, this is Alex for the Coaster Spot, and today we're going to do a full tour of SeaWorld Orlando, the premier marine life park pretty much in the world. So we have plenty of roller coasters here, including the brand new Pipeline, which we'll show you of course. And we'll show you all the shows, all the rides, attractions, and of course you also have the Sesame Place land as well for the little ones. So we'll also talk about what's going to be coming next year, and we'll probably do an updated tour or at least trip reports in the future. And here's a quick look at the map. We're going to head to the left, around the left part of it, clockwise, then head back around counterclockwise around the other side of the park. Let's go. Also, like a lot of parks in the United States, the park has gone cashless. You don't have access to a credit card of some sort. It has a machine. It's like a reverse ATM. It basically gives you a credit card, gift card. Once you get into the park, you have the SeaWorld store on the right where you can get all of your merchandise. I will show you this, and also SeaWorld Rescue, which is more merchandise pertaining to the SeaWorld Rescue brand and shirts. We'll show you that at the end. And one other is the main kids store. So I'll point that out later. Guest services to the left. This is also where you can purchase add-ons, all-day dining, quick queue, animal interactions, tours. We'll talk all about that peppered in. It's a tour. First, we're just going to show you the rest of the main area here. The first shops that you can go into. You have your candy store, also right here. And then you have the Coaster Coffee Company serves Starbucks. They do have these cool models here. This one's inspired by Kraken. Fortunately, they have not worked for a very long time. And then you have the dolphin nursery here where you can see some of the dolphins that have more care or younger, which is really cool to see. So we will get back to all this much later in the park. Quick look at the nursery. You can see here they're doing a lot of arrangement with toys and just generally playing unassisted. This is all on their own. No one's telling them to do anything. They're just having fun. They also have these really cool little viewing windows underwater, which are fun to kind of just lay in and check them out from beneath. And finally, next to the dolphin nursery is Edie's ice cream parlor. Lots of fun treats, sundaes, shakes, all that stuff. And then returning to the main area, they do have strollers and wheelchair rentals. Also looks like they have bibs and extra underwear just in case for the little ones. You have this fantastic SeaWorld sign here. They do have a photographer in the mornings and then all day long on weekends. Let's talk about our first roller coaster. It is the first of like 7 or 8 now. SeaWorld started putting in roller coasters in the late 90s, and right now they're on a streak with 3 in 3 years. So this is Manta, built in 2007, I want to say. All the information about the rides is going to be on the lower left corner, including what type of ride it is, when it was built, and also the height requirements as well. So it's a handy dandy guide, but also be sure to download the SeaWorld app. It is absolutely fantastic. It gives you all the show times for the day, some wait times. Now talking about Manta, does a few flips. It is a flying coaster, so you're going to start kind of like an inverted roller coaster seating, but then you're going to tilt upwards into that flying position. You're going to do a first drop, then you're going to do a pretzel loop, which is very intense, kind of head over heels, and then twists and turns, a few helixes, and a few little upside down twists. It's a fun coaster. Sometimes it can take a little long to get on it though, because it's a slow loader. To the left here, got the Caribbean flamingos. I would, of course, Midway Weightman would be very disappointed if I didn't mention these guys. The pink chickens. Look at them. They're so cute. Entrance to Manta is going to be off to the right here. Be aware though, all the major roller coasters do not allow any large bags to go with you. Anything that can fit into your pockets is fine, and in some cases they will let you put those things off to the side, such as a hat. They do have ride lockers, however. I believe they are $2 for 2 hours. They have upped it to $3, but the all-day locker is still $10. So if you plan on doing all the major roller coasters, your best bet is definitely doing the all-day locker, or you can just leave it in here for 2 hours and try to knock out a bunch of them. You will be able to pick up quick queue pretty much anywhere. They also are automated machines. So there it is. They have a Build-A-Bear right here. That's pretty self-explanatory. Don't need to really talk about that. It is September, so Halloween stuff is going on. SeaWorld Spooktacular is the kids' event. It is free with admission. They also have Howl Scream, which is not free. It is a separate ticketed admission. Season pass holders don't even really get into it for free. I believe there is a discount, but that happens nightly on the weekends, and then it further expands to the weekdays as the spooky season continues. So here's Coconut Bay Traders. This is more of the kids store, and it's huge. They have Captain Pete's Island hot dogs. Now, I haven't eaten much at SeaWorld, but the stuff I have eaten is usually really good, and their food festivals are absolutely fantastic. They do have Stingray Lagoon, where you can pet a stingray. They do have stingray food. This is the one area where you actually can purchase food and just feed them. Most of the other experiences for the animal encounters are guided time things, but this one you can just walk up until they do it. And you can just go ahead and touch the stingrays. Lots of fun. Right next to the Stingray Lagoon is going to be Key West, home of the dolphins. Of course, there are extra animal encounters that you can do, and this time I'll talk about them. So there's a lot of educational animal encounters. Not only are you going to be able to get up and close and personal with some of the animals with the different tours, there are a lot to go through, so I'm not going to mention them all. I will list them really quickly here on the right when I'm talking about it. But yes, good viewing area here for it. If you do the dolphin encounter, you get to go right over there. Of course, there's also Discovery Cove. Should have a video from there pretty soon. It was kind of a trip report, but also kind of a guide at the same time for a first-time visitor to Discovery Cove. Discovery Cove is like an all-exclusive resort, a one-day thing to have all food included. You get to do snorkeling, you get to do a lot of swimming, and just lounging and eating, and free beer, which is the best part of it all. So if you want to see that, we'll have that out pretty soon as well. So here they are, your second way of being able to see these dolphins. And we'll talk about the third one in a little bit. On the other side of the lagoon, they do have this overlook, and right below us, there is a underlook. So we'll go check that out. And here is your underwater view, probably your best way to see these guys. All right, moving on from the underwater viewing area, you do have the SeaWorld Rescue Center, where you get to see the manatees and also a lot of turtles. The world's largest manatee rescue facility, as they say it. This used to be some of a show called Turtle Trek that is now not a thing, but you do still have the underwater viewing area. And here is a better view of the Florida manatees, nicknamed the Sea Cow. They kind of don't do much. They are endangered, but their numbers are much better than they were 20 years ago. And they definitely love their lettuce. It's so cute. And here's a look inside of the underwater tank. Turtles, whatever those guys are, comment down below. That's a really cool fish. I think it's a catfish. Could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. So, SeaWorld does a lot of good things. I know there's a lot of negativity around SeaWorld, and some of it may be warranted, but a lot of it was blown out of the water for sure. They do a lot of nice things for the environment. Whenever there's a hurricane in Florida, they are first on site, usually helping out wherever they can, spending a lot of money on it where it doesn't get a lot of return on investment other than probably publicity, but that is about it. Here's a look inside of what used to be Turtle Trek, which was like an all-around video, but now they're doing a bunch of coral rescue, which is kind of cool. Interesting way to repurpose this area for sure. Had no idea they were doing this. All right, continue around from the rescue center. The dolphin show is actually just right here. We're gonna continue around to our next attraction, and then we'll show you the entrance to where you can get into that dolphin arena. Alrighty, here we go. Here is our second roller coaster / water ride. It is Journey to Atlantis, the first ride to ever be put into SeaWorld, going back to the 90s. It is a mock water coaster, so it's gonna float just like a log flume or Splash Mountain or whatever they're calling it soon. Then it has track sections where it does drops, twists, very short coaster sections, but enough that you can classify it as a roller coaster. Always remember, if you see a wet floor, that usually means you can get wet. And the gift shop is pretty cool because there is this awesome aquarium here where it has a glass floor with a bunch of fish right underneath you. Very neat. In addition to some other little exhibits off to the edges of the room. And then right next to Journey to Atlantis is the Kraken, the park's first big roller coaster installed in 2000. It is a B&M Flawless, and it's our third roller coaster. It's going to take you up about 150 feet or so, and it's going to drop you down with a straight drop into the vertical loop, dive loop, zero-G roll, cobra roll, another vertical loop halfway underground, and then corkscrew. Really good. Sometimes it can be a little rattly, head bumpy on certain days. Sometimes it's absolutely smooth. Here is the new color scheme. Also right now, due to the construction that we'll talk about in just a moment, to see and feed the sea lions, there is a little pathway over here as well to get to it. Just to the right of the entrance, jerry-rigged pathway and backstage areas. And just like the stingrays, you can buy food to feed those sea lions. And here is their viewing area. They're very loud. You do decide to get food for these guys. You gotta make sure these guys don't swipe it up mid-air. They are very competitive for that food. Also, when shows aren't taking place in the Sea Lion Stadium, there is another entrance that takes you through the Sea Lion Stadium. And then right opposed to Journey to Atlantis and Crack to the right is gonna be the Antarctica area of the park, which is seeing some transformations right now. You have the Glacier Collections gift shop, lots of penguin merchandise, and a lot of other stuff that you can get at the other gift shops. Then you have the penguin exhibit right here. Now this used to be a ride called Empire of the Penguin. It was not very good. Rumor has it they forgot to plug in the trackless vehicles during the shutdown of 2020, and they killed the batteries because they completely de-drained. Anyways, it is currently just an exhibit. For a while they were still using the pre-show, but now it's kind of a little jerry-rigged. You pretty much go in the same entrance exit to see the penguins underwater view. Let's go show you that. They do have this amazing underwater view area in addition to the cold storage viewing area. All right, here is the Expedition Cafe. Most SeaWorld food is actually really good. Here's a look at the menu in here. You have pizza, Asian food, and chicken tenders. Smells amazing. One thing I've forgotten to mention is they do have an all-day dining deal, so you can eat, I believe, every 90 minutes, and you get a entree, a drink, and a dessert, which is fun to do. If you have like 2 people or maybe a family of 4, I would suggest getting half of how many people you have, because that is going to be enough if you can eat every 90 minutes. Also, just be aware that anything you buy here at SeaWorld now has a 5% surcharge on top of sales tax. I don't know why they don't just show the price as it reflected, but it's in the lower left corner of that menu board where it's very small and tiny. Now the reason why that whole penguin exhibit is all weird is because they are building a new roller coaster. And since filming this, there has been some updates because the new coaster was announced, and it's going to be called Penguin Trek. There is now a video, and also the train was revealed at the IAAPA annual trade show for the amusement industry. So we have lots of details about it. I did make a full video with an analysis of the coaster, so if you want to know
way more details, you can. But what you need to know is it's going to be 3,000 feet long. It's going to be family friendly, 42-inch height requirements, 2 launches, 43 miles per hour. It's going to start indoors with a few themed bits, and then it's going to launch outdoors. So should be a lot of fun, and we will definitely check it out and have videos from it when it opens sometime next year.
And as you can see, you have to go around back the way you came and the way we will travel through the tour to get to Sea Lion and Otter Stadium. And as we come back from Journey to Atlantis towards the Manta entrance, the entrance to the Dolphin Show is just to the right here, underneath the first drop of Manta. Let's go ahead and talk about that show. So Dolphin Adventures, much like other shows now at SeaWorld, is less about the spectacle and more about the education. Of course, they're going to do lots of tricks and stuff, but a lot more natural tricks, stuff that they might be doing when they're playing in other natural environments. Nothing like they used to do where they would like ride on their nose or stuff like that. So it's been altered over the years, and I think it's a much more enjoyable show. Much like other stadiums at SeaWorld, they are huge, but even as big as they get, they do fill up on busy days, and even light days like today. This is a very sparsely attended day, and lots of people here. All right, moving on from Dolphin Adventures, we're gonna head left here. This is the way you can get around to the other side of that pathway, where our tour will pretty much end. So we'll show you that much later in the video. But to get your bearings here, the entrance to Manta is just right over here. And here's the other side of that pathway. So you'll meet up right here, and the Sea Lion show is just to the front of us. And here is the entrance to the Sea Lion and Otter show. I think I have a little bit of footage from a previous visit. It's fun, it's a good show. I just am not a fan of sea lions, and the otters are a very small portion of it. So it is what it is. It's a high quality show. As I said, I just don't like sea lions. Over here, we're going to come back around to the entrance of the park and then around the lake counterclockwise. But you have the Lakeside Grill over there, and cantina, a place to drink and eat. And then you have the Sky Tower entrance, which is not open very often anymore, and it is an upcharge. Past members typically do get in for free, which is nice to see. But yeah, the Sky Tower definitely does not operate as frequently as most people would prefer to. So there it is. As you can see, today it is closed, but it does provide a fantastic view, which we will show you from a visit a few years ago.
Agencies, conservationists, zoological facilities, and others to rescuing them and returning them to the wild. Well, we're just about 300 feet up now, and from here you can see from miles and...
If you're here during a food festival time, this is where you're going to see a lot of the food festival booths, typically right around the lake area. The best one is probably the Seven Seas Food Festival, which takes place at the beginning of the year typically. I forget the dates rather, but all right, let's head towards the new roller coaster. But first is the Custom House and the Artesian Hall. It runs all the way through here to there, and then we'll show you that at the end of the video for a fourth location that I forgot about. And then you have the Seafire Grill, which is a really cool bar. I've never eaten there, but the bar is really... Look at the menu. Chicken tenders, sandwiches, and lots of treats. And here's a look at the Flamecraft bar. Usually have really cool things on tap here. From the Seafire Grill down this unassuming pathway, this is how you're going to get to the new roller coaster. To the right is where you're going to get to the entrance to Pipeline, the park's newest roller coaster, and it's a prototype. It's a new generation stand-up roller coaster. Instead of having a hard restraint, it has vest restraints that are very comfortable. Lots of airtime. Your seats actually can move up and down. They're not completely locked into one position like old stand-up roller coasters, so the seats actually kind of jump up as you go over airtime moments. It's a lot of fun. One inversion, just a giant corkscrew, and if it's an event day where they're doing something at the stadium, it does create a complete loop and ends right over by the entrance to Icebreaker, which we'll talk about pretty much next. So to get to there, we're just going to follow this pathway, and then once you get to the end of the water portion, you're just going to go to the right to the entrance to Icebreaker. So yes, pipeline, so good, so much better than I ever expected. Go check out my trip report where I wrote it for the first time, and yes, I was so shocked how good it was. I was not expecting it to be anything like it turned out to be. Whoa, that's a weird feeling. Oh my goodness. It's definitely one of my favorite places in the park, just to hang out right over the water, left and right of you, lots of views of the cool coasters. If you get to the end of this walkway, as we said, to the right is going to be Icebreaker, to the left is going to be Mako if you want to skip the whole Sesame Street area. All right, here is Icebreaker. It's supposed to open 2020, ultimately opened in 2022. But it is a premiered launch coaster, shuttle coaster, but it does have 2 trains because it has a sliding table as soon as you leave the station. It's going to actually have 4 launches starting backwards, forwards, backwards, and forwards again. A beyond vertical spike, and then it has a top hat there with a twist up and a straight drop on the way down. Lots of twists and turns, a wave turn, lots of airtime. It is marketed as a family coaster. It's kind of a little bit more than a family coaster, but at the same time, it's not crazy ejector airtime. 48 inches for this one with a companion. And then right across from it is one of the entrances, or at least up to the plaza of the Orca Encounter. This is SeaWorld's premiere show. It's more educational these days, just like the Dolphin Adventure. Lots of flips and tricks and all that stuff, but then a lot of educational bits about the orcas and conservation and everything in between. Over here used to be a simulator ride that is no longer. It's usually just used for a haunt and Howl Scream. Just to mention it, most of it takes place on this side of the park to the right of the gate. Now, anything that's a little spooky and scary, they do cover it up. So if you have little ones, you don't need to worry about them seeing graphic stuff in the daytime. And then there is the exhibit, the Wild Arctic Base Station exhibit, where you get to see walruses and other animals. And as you continue down where those hollow screen barriers are, that's going to continue to Bayside Stadium, which we talked about before, where they have shows during special events, also have concerts occasionally, and that is when that pathway is going to be open and create the loop all the way to Pipeline. Here's a quick look at the largest room in the exhibit. It definitely does look like a base station, a Arctic expedition. There also are some beluga whales. There is an underwater viewing area as well.
Okay, done with this one? Wow.
Then opposite to Altitude Burgers is going to be Sesame Street Land, which has lots of rides themed to. Obviously, Elmo and the gang. Let's take a look at them all. And there's also a huge gift shop, which we'll show you right now. There are a bunch of interactive areas. You can get a little wand, kind of like the Harry Potter wizard wands, where you can touch to the wand and then they'll do some interactive things. So kind of a little bit of an upcharge activity within here. And lots of plush here, lots of Halloween stuff. This is super cute. Here are the different wands. You can get them for all the different characters, or at least 3 of them at least. And we have towels and swim diapers. And there's swim diapers here for a reason. And you'll see why. There is a splash pad. So here it is. Lots of Sesame Street merchandise all around. Water bottles, personalized name tags, hats, shirts, onesies, little hats for babies, baby blankets, so many cute things. And then they do have a photo meet and greet. In addition to the Bubble One stuff, there's lots of interactive stuff that doesn't require any money whatsoever. And other stuff around, like this little truck right here with googly eyes. Also has more interactivity, so lots of stuff for kids to do other than just rides. And the center of the land is going to be the splash pad, a bunch of interactive elements, lots of ways to get wet. There it is. And then around the edge is a couple of rides. First up is going to be Abby's Flower Tower. This is a Samba Tower type ride. You can go up and either just let it kind of spin on the one axis, or you can turn it into a teacup ride, basically, and spin it as fast as you want. Here is Slimy's Slider. This is a rocking tub type of attraction. It's going to go back and forth and spin at the same time. To the right of the rocking tub type ride is going to be Super Grover's Boxcar Derby, a family-friendly roller coaster. See, it's about 30 feet tall, just does a bunch of helixes, no real big drops, just lots of twists. And I'll take a look at it from on ride to give you an idea what it looks like. Fun for everybody. I love all the different cars themed to the different characters, like Oscar and Cookie Monster. Here's Cookie Drop. It is a little drop tower. It's going to take kids up and bounce them up and down. One thing to note that a lot of these rides, except for the coaster, kids can go on it as long as they can walk and they're not handheld infants. You just have to be able to walk, basically. That's it. You have Harmony Hills right here, which is just a little playground area, very small playground area. There it is, a little slide and AstroTurf to walk around. So since I filmed the majority of the tour, they've actually removed the teacups completely, and now it's going to be a little show stage here, which is pretty cool to have more entertainment. As you can see right now, we are in the holiday season, so they have a little show here. On a Sunday, it's kind of surprising that there's one. They might remove the other times, though, since it is later in the day. And then right next to it is going to be the baby care area where you can do diaper changes, nursing, and whatever else. And it's conveniently right next to the first aid, I think for the entire park. I'm not sure, but they have it. And then they do have this little train here. Just a simple layout through some scenery. And that is Elmo's Choo Choo Train. And here's a look at Sesame Street. We saw you the entirety of the store. It actually goes from one end to another, and there's the photos right there. Lots of interactive things. They do have story time with Big Bird, photo meet and greets here as well, so you can take pictures with the characters. They also do have a parade through Sesame Street Land on a daily basis, usually later in the afternoon. And they do have a couple of eats here. They do have a drink stand, and then they do have the ABC Eats, chicken tenders, turkey panini. It's actually really good. And then they have the Yummy Nom Nom, which has chicken tenders, the turkey melts, and the Hawaiian grilled cheese, and then a regular grilled cheese for kids as well. I've had the turkey melt. It was actually really freaking good. I really enjoyed it. And then, as I said, taxes and 5% surcharges will be added to all of the checks. There is one more ride on the way out of here, on our way to two of the best attractions in the park. And then nearly outside of the land is going to be the Sunny Day Carousel. It's a carousel themed to the characters. They're all around, the boards there, and then you sit on a bunch of these bright, colorful horses. And of course, there's also a chariot for people to sit on if you don't want to ride on a horse. And all the horses are jumping. None of them are stationary. Just to note, there are plenty of entrances and exits to the Orca Stadium. There's one over here, there's another one down the way a little bit too. But Off to the right here is going to be the pretzel place. Oh man, they have some of the best pretzels I've ever had. Highly suggest these guys. Let's take a look at their menu really quickly with the prices. Yeah, the prices and really amazing pretzels. They are some of the best I've ever had. Ever. Love them. And now that we've come all the way around the Orca Stadium, that's the pathway you would have came from if you make a left at the end of the overwater area. Now we're going to enter into the area that includes Infinity Falls. Oh my goodness. Can't wait to talk about this one. It's such a good ride. And here it is, Infinity Falls. I love the area. You go over the bridge here that takes you right over. Two parts of the ride. Now, there were lots of raft rides built in the 80s and 90s, and they did a lot of fun stuff, rocking back and forth, going through the rapids. A lot of fun. Very mild on the thrills, though. Not that that's a problem. They usually got you wet, and that was the purpose of the ride. However, this one takes it to another level with this giant 40-foot drop, a vertical elevator lift. As you can see, that vehicle just kind of popped out of nowhere, and it's going to take you down this drop. Beware, you'll get wet from this bridge as well. There it is. Very fun. Let's take a quick look on the ride, see what it's like. Now, being alone, I actually probably won't get all that wet because the boat is not heavily weighed down. The more weight you get, the more it can kind of sink and really dig into the rapids. Whoa! Oh my goodness, like, that would have been bad. Beautiful view of Mako. Oh boy, oh god. Oh. And here's the Waterway Grill, another great place to have some lunch or dinner. And then inside there is a pass ladder lounge. It does have separate hours from the rest of the park, so it'll be a little bit more limited than the rest of the park. Also has an amazing bar. It's themed up right now for the Halloween event, but still is there. As I said, they have full bars. They are fantastic. Let's take a look at the menu here. Here's a look at the entrees: grilled dress goat, steak, chicken frito, slow roasted smoked pork, chicken tender platter. Also have salads and desserts. Smells so good. Look at those. Oreo cupcake, strawberry cupcake, chocolate chip cupcake. Also around the park, this one being right near the Flamingo paddle boats, they do have a bunch of these. Relax and recharge. We have some shade and you can plug in your phone. And the boat rentals are going to be $5 for pass holders, and then $7 for single riders, two riders, or 10. And here is going to be Mako, the park's giant B&M hyper coaster. It is the best coaster in the park, by my opinion. It's about 200 feet tall. There's lots of straight drops with lots of airtime, lots of nice fun turns, including this one at the end over the water. Such a good coaster. I love it. You cannot miss this one. But be sure to try to time it around those orca encounters, because this line can jump to a huge queue during those times. And then right next to Mako to the left is going to be Shark's Underwater Grill and Bar, which is a great dining experience where you're gonna have a giant glass view of all the sharks. Also, before you enter in to see the sharks, they do have a exhibit right here. There they are. You have all these things on here, some fish, white spotted bamboo shark, a white-tipped reef shark, and a leopard ray. I like the leopard ray. And those white spotted bamboo sharks. They're pretty. Nice. Let's go inside the exhibit and show you a little bit of it. Here's this fantastic aquarium. As you can see, water around you, 180 degrees. All the fishies, right? And then further on in the exhibit, you're going to be on a conveyor belt. That's how this really cool photo op where you can put yourself inside of a great wolf shark skull. Look at that. Awesome. Bye. Here it is. There's that hammerhead shark. Let's check out the SeaWorld rescue store really quickly, and then the main SeaWorld store. Here it is, smaller store with plushes and SeaWorld rescue merchandise and toys, magnets, whatnot. And then right across the way is the SeaWorld store. You're definitely going to see a lot of the same merchandise repeated over and over again. Also, that stuff. They do have a bunch of the coaster cutouts and coaster nanos, which is a lot of fun. Not as many as normal. I can't find the rest of them, but if you look around the park, you'll be able to find coaster nanos and cutouts for the majority of the ride. They do go in and out of stock occasionally as well. Alright, let's check out the other stores. They said they're going to have the same type of merchandise, but I figured I'd give you an idea if there's anything you might have seen in passing really quickly, you'll be able to pick it up. And here is the customs house. As we said, we're going to give a quick look at it. It has a little bit of everything. You have plush stuff, you got Sesame Street stuff. Those bibs are adorable. Oh my god. More plush stuff. As I said, just a quick look of what you can expect to get here. Then it transitions into a Christmas shop. Lots of SeaWorld ornaments. Just made for the park. Very neat. You can continue into the Salt Life and the Guy Harvey area, which is really cool stuff. Shows it like this.
It's probably easier just to buy one because the beads cost like $20.
And then more SeaWorld merchandise. Love that one right there with the retro logo. And it keeps going. And this is where you're also going to see seasonal stuff. As we said, right now it is Haunt. And it's huge. Yeah, a bunch of Simply Southern stuff, Salt Life merchandise as well. And then right now they have seasonal stuff for Halloween. And a bunch of SeaWorld t-shirts as well. Like that kind of retro looking one there. The gray one, like that. And this one definitely has a bunch of stuff for the kids, as do other ones. But these are like the three biggest stores, so that's it. Alright, so that is going to be SeaWorld. I love this place. It's a great park. I think I've said everything I need to say about it for the most part. Mako's amazing, just with all that lap bar just holding you in. It's a great experience. It's so good with the airtime. It's one of the best coasters in Orlando still. Even with the newer coasters, it's a top 5 of like Velocicoaster. It competes up there with those for sure. I suggest if you're doing a Disney vacation or a Universal vacation, I suggest you give yourself an extra day to be here. For Disney vacation, it's great for all the animal exhibits and all that stuff. And then there's stuff for the kids to do as well at the Sesame Street area. And if you're a Universal person, it's also great for the exhibits, but it's also amazing for the roller coasters. So either way, I would suggest a day or even a half day here because it's a lot of fun. And also, if you're coming here for the thrills, definitely consider going to Busch Gardens Tampa, which is part of the SeaWorld chain. So that is it. We'll do a tour of Busch Gardens Tampa at some point. We also do have tours around the Orlando area of some of the smaller attractions and the bigger attractions. So if you want to check any of that out, it's on the channel. Thanks for watching. This has been Alex for the Coaster Spot. Oh my God, let me get to my bus.